Get some. Welcome to Racin and stuff. And I did not tell you I was going to start out with saying get some. That's my new opening, by the way.
What does that mean?
That doesn't mean anything. It means get some. We're going to get some good sports talk going on here.
That's actually really good. Did you purposely not tell me that?
I stole that from Mike Lotta, our director.
Oh, nice. Did you purposely not tell me that you were going to do that?
Yes, because I thought you would you would hate it.
No, I think it's kind of clever.
We're off track here.
By the way, yeah.
This is Racin and stuff. Welcome to Racin stuff. This is our 5th episode. We said last week it was our 5th episode, but we were wrong.
We did say that. I was the one that said I think
Chris
this is our 5th episode.
I went with it because I had been awake for 7 hours already, and which is bad when it's 11 o'clock in the morning. So I was.
Yeah, this is 5 today.
I was pretty tired, and so
I'm glad you brought that up because I definitely messed that up. So this is the 5th one today.
It's the real deal 5th episode. We're going, but it's good. It's exciting. We're over a month in now. It's our 3rd episode we've been on TV. Or we're filming, so that's cool.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, Doug. Happy Tax Day. Hope you got your taxes filed.
Is this the new? How's your bracket doing?
No, it's just today. It's just today. It's just tax day.
You say that, but next week we're going to hear Happy Tax Day too.
No, that's.
I'm still not
lame.
sure. We're probably going to hear How's Your Bracket Doing again today. Anyway, regardless.
No, probably not. I think it's dead.
I hope so.
I think it's dead.
Okay. Back to real quick. As I always say, this is the show where we talk about racing, and I usually say other stuff, but by other stuff I always mean sports. But today we really
I think it's going to be mostly stuff.
It looks like we're really talking about just random stuff today.
Today it's going to be more the stuff and less the
sports.
Racing today.
Yeah. Well, the stuff usually means sports, but we're not even talking about sports right now. We're talking about the origins of the phrase "get some"
and tax day.
Tax day.
Oh boy. This is
right.
going to be a fun show today, Doug.
Yeah. Well, last week. Well, that's because last week there wasn't a Cup race. There was no NASCAR Cup race. We only had the Busch race. And then it was Happy Easter, everybody.
Yep. I spent the weekend sick in bed. Happy Easter me.
I watched the Busch race.
So did I. Because I was.
Yeah. Well, it was.
I was going to say because I was sick in bed, and that would have sounded like that's the only reason I watched it.
But honestly, it's the Busch race. That is the only reason you watch the Busch races. I'm not a big fan of the Busch series much these days, but I do. I usually keep up with it. I try to watch them.
So. Just to bring it up, what'd you think of the race?
It was one of the better ones we've seen this year. There was some good races. It was one of those old school races where there were two good cars, but neither one was much better than the other one. Kyle Busch and Logano were basically equal most of the day. Logano was better, I should say.
Yeah, the one thing I did want to bring up from the Busch race nationwide. I guess I keep forgetting that.
No. It's
the Busch. Okay.
Series.
Okay. The one thing I wanted to bring up from the Busch race is I think I said this last week.
Mm-hmm.
I love that track, and I think it deserves a Cup race. I think it's such a unique. I think it's a good track.
Yeah, we haven't talked about this on the show yet, and I think we will end up devoting in one episode of this, which is basically our fantasy Cup schedule.
We should do that. That's a really good idea.
We will do that.
We've basically done it in real life. So
yeah, we have several times over, I'm sure. But Nashville is one track we've always both said. I don't think it's necessarily the best racing, but I think it's a cool track.
I think I sure think it deserves a race.
Yeah, concrete racetrack. It's 1.33 miles.
Yeah.
It's a really weird length. It's set up like it's built kind of like a 1.3 cookie cutter, 1.5 mile. Only it's like 0.2 of a mile shorter, and it's concrete, and the banking's a bit higher, I think, than normal. And it's a really unique racetrack. And I think we need more of those unique racetracks on the schedule.
I 100% agree. And I'm glad that you had said that about the race on Saturday. I actually thought it was a pretty good race. For me, it was a...
That's just because Kyle Busch got beat by Logano at the end.
Yes and no.
Yes.
It was a pretty good race. And the one thing that I wanted to bring up, it's just so interesting with me, is Joey Logano can't run 30th in Cup, and it just that's just amazing to me. But can win a Busch series or a Busch race, it just makes me wonder if he should have stayed in Busch for a year.
Well, I don't think they wanted to bring him up so soon.
Yeah, we talked about that last week.
That's because of Stewart leaving. They were kind of like, well, they had to fast track him. But I actually felt really happy for him because you got to know that it sucks to be him right now, struggling in Cup so bad as he is. So I always kind of had the feeling that a driver in Cup who's struggling needs to be getting in some Busch races and some truck races, getting some good rides to get a shot at winning the race and all that, because you got to keep that confidence up. You got to keep something that keeps you going. Even Burton and those 4-year winless streak he had, Jeff Burton, from 01 to 05 or 06 or whatever it was when he was really down there. He was in Busch races. He was winning Busch races. That's what keeps you going. That's what keeps your confidence up. That's what gives you the chance to maybe one day, ascend again in Cup.
And especially the racer that he beat, I'm sure helped him a little bit. I mean, not only a teammate, but somebody that's been pretty hot the last couple of years.
And that's the thing that everybody considers Kyle Busch to be one of the most talented drivers in Sprint Cup racing. So to beat him, that's kind of one of the argument about Busch regulars versus Cup regulars racing in the same, Cup regulars racing the Busch Series. Busch regulars love it because if you beat that guy,
you beat the best.
You beat the best.
Theory.
The idea that you will learn, you will get better because you're racing with the best, and that makes some sense. I don't think Edwards and Kyle Busch should be running for the Busch Series championship, but
I mean we can that could be a topic unto itself.
Yeah,
I just think
it's one of those never-ending arguments.
Yeah, but I actually think we agree on this. I don't have a problem with them running a few races. I do significantly, and like you just said, I really do have a problem with them running the whole series. I really do.
This could actually relate to our top 5 list of the day. We don't want to do it right now, but
yeah,
it could relate to it. But yeah, I do think they should put like a cap on it or something. I think
because let me ask you: Do you think it hinders? I know we just said what we just said about the Busch drivers running with them, but do you think it hinders them, considering you basically know you have no shot at the championship?
Hinders them?
Maybe that's not the right word.
I don't think it really hinders them. What I think though is that you need to, in the lower levels, you're supposed to be learning, and while you can learn a lot getting your butt whooped by a Cup driver, at the same time you can learn a lot by running up there up front every day. I almost want to say a certain etiquette to being one of the top drivers in the league versus one of the lower drivers in the league almost. And when it comes to that etiquette, you don't learn that etiquette unless you're up there. And if you're racing with a bunch of Cup guys who are whooping you every week, then you're not learning much except how to get out of their way, I don't think, personally. But moreover, I think Busch Series needs to mean something. It needs to mean something as far as wins go. It needs to mean something as far as points go. And right now, it's all getting watered down because Cup drivers are basically coming in and said, I think I'd love to win a championship. How about we just run the full Busch Series, season? And that's not good for the series. Well, I don't think we've had the last time a driver that was full-time in Busch won the championship that was not full-time in Cup was Martin Truex Jr. in 2005. And even then, we all knew he was going to Cup. It was just a matter of time before he.
First one I really, really think back to is Jeff Green.
I think that was the last time there was really
with what we're talking about right now.
He was because
he had no intention. Well, he did end up. What year did he win it? 2001?
2000.
Oh, okay. Well, then he didn't end up going to Cup for a couple more years.
Yeah, he didn't mean to, and actually he had already been up to Cup and come back down briefly.
Which I'm fine with that. You know.
But there was a day where there was a significant amount of drivers who ran the Busch Series their entire career. Guys who just opted to run Busch Series. Jason Keller, the Green brothers, David Mark and Jeff Green. Who else am I thinking? Randy LaJoy. These are guys who may have dabbled in Cup but have always been Busch drivers, really. And you don't see Keller's still sticking around. I don't know how he's still around, but he still is. Other than that, there's nobody that's just I'm Busch Series my whole career. It's just Cup drivers, young guys coming in, and I miss that. I think the glory days of Busch Series were I want to say 98 to 2003.
100%. I 100% agree with you.
Mm-hmm.
Fancy that. No, I was because I started watching NASCAR right at the beginning of 1998, and I mean for a while it was just Cup, but then I started learning about the Busch Series and everything,
right.
And that's when I remember back then watching the Cup races, kind of learning the drivers, and then watching the Busch race and not knowing a single driver.
But
because you get my point.
Yeah, but that's the cool thing about the Busch Series too was it was always looking into the future, watching Greg Biffle come up through the series, watching Dale Earnhardt Jr., watching Matt Kenseth, watching Kevin Harvick, guys that are right now, these guys are going to be NASCAR for the next 10, 15, 20 years. Watching them become that guy in the Busch Series was cool. It was a fun thing to watch them do it. Same with Truex and Kyle Busch. Those are probably the most recent guys. Other than that, I don't think we've had any really good, solid rookies come in that have been really successful in the Busch Series and watch them develop. It's been it's been ABC since 05, 06. By ABC, I mean that they have this developmental program called the ABC, which is ARCA for A, Busch,
which I guess it's not called that anymore, but yeah.
That's called the ABC plan.
Do they still call it that?
I don't know if they call it, but that's basically what it is. They run ARCA races, they run truck races, they run Busch races, nothing full-time, everything part-time for a year, 2 years.